Now, Kenya's Safaricom has partnered with the Environment Management Authority and the Communications Authority to launch an information booklet on the safe use of telecommunication equipment. East Africa is home to a high number of telecommunication masts, with an estimated 6,000 in Kenya alone. The latest statistics indicate that Kenya has more than 38 million active mobile phone users. Of course, the majority of scientific opinion, supported by the World Health Organization, finds that there is no clear evidence that mobile phones or base stations pose any risk to human health. Well, let's get more on this. David Ongare, Director for Compliance and Enforcement at Kenya's National Environmental Management Authority, now joins us. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Now, of course, globally, we're seeing increasing concern over the potential harmful effects of electromagnetic frequencies, of course, and what it could pose to our health. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So tell me, how harmful is it really?
Thank you very much. I think what has brought this debate to the fore is really about mobile telephony. But we have had EMF emitting gadgets with us for ages, over 60 years. And therefore, there's not been any problem. We've had this around with us with various utilities that we have in our homes. And even without those, there is general radiation which comes from the environment, and it has not caused much concern. So I think from that perspective, and as you correctly put it, this is one of the most closely watched sectors by both the World Health Organization and the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection.
Right.
And therefore, there is really no cause for alarm at this point in time.
Right. Now, across the globe, I mean, in fact, at the most recent tech conference, we've seen innovators even coming up with special underwear to protect you from EMF signals from your phone. Now, give me some insight into the research that backs these findings, especially now that the world seems quite concerned about what's going on with this.
I would think it's more of a marketing opportunistic kind of venture because I would much rather be directing my R&D in other directions. As I correctly put it, radiations don't come just from telephones. In our homes, even at this studio, there's quite a significant amount of EMF being transmitted here.
Right.
And it's not a cause for concern. If you look at a simple microwave in your house, the EMF from that is much higher than a telephone mast. So therefore, I think if you put everything in context, it's only that the masts are very visible. And as compared to other gadgets we have at home, the radios, the television sets. But I wouldn't imagine that you'd be spending your R&D funds on things like underwear to protect yourself. If you are looking at better pieces of infrastructure to support, for example, 4G kind of transmission, right, that would be money well invested.
Right. Now that we've discovered this, how are we going to see it impact policy in Kenya? Are we going to see any major policy changes?
Already there has been major changes, even with the current setup, because for the first time we have a ministry, a whole ministry focused on ICT. And we expect that since it's an enabler of many of the segments of business, we expect that when the government writes its next policy statements, for example, in the next medium-term plan, then we expect this to stand out as a major contributor and also a sector that needs proper management to spur the development of this country.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, you've actually released a booklet to sort of dispel these myths. How is the public going to have access to this booklet?
There are a number of avenues that have been crafted to enable the public access this booklet. The publication is both in English and Kiswahili, and we expect all the outlets for the provider Safaricom to have this. The book is also available on the website, but we are expecting that the telco itself will be using other platforms like yourselves and vernacular radio stations to actually communicate in a simplified way to the populace of this country on the hows and wherefores and how to manage their handsets and the masts.
Well, many thanks for coming to the studio to give us those insights. Of course, Mr. David Ongare with Kenya's National Environmental Management Authority.